Welcome to Uma Musume, Pretty Derby, the only world where legendary racehorses get reincarnate as cute girls who sprint like their lives depend on it. Our star, Special Week, arrives at Tracen Academy ready to run her way to glory, except she immediately gets lost, makes a few questionable first impressions, and somehow still ends up chasing her dream of becoming Japan's #1. Let's zoom right in. Special Week was buzzing with excitement for her first semester at the prestigious Tracen Academy, until she realized she'd gotten off the train at the wrong station. The station master suggested she check out the nearby racetrack, and since running was basically her thing, she decided it couldn't hurt. The place was like a festival, packed with food stalls and buzzing energy. She was awestruck by the Twinkle Series race and by star runner Silence Suzuka, though her admiration was interrupted by an overly touchy stranger, whom she swiftly dealt with. Suzuka dominated the race, the stranger popped up again to ramble about her skills, and Special found herself reluctantly staying for Suzuka's winning concert, a dazzling idol-style performance that almost made her forget her curfew. She sprinted back to the academy, banging on the door just in time. The next day, after a clumsy classroom introduction and meeting a handful of colorful classmates, Special learned that Suzuka was part of the elite team Rigel. She joined the tryouts but lost to El Condor Pasa. Just as disappointment set in, a trio of masked girls whisked her away, not for trouble, but to join Team Spica, now home to Suzuka as well, who left Team Rigel. For the first time, no one laughed at her dream of being the best, and she decided to give it everything, with her debut set for next week. Trainer announced that Special Week would make her race debut next week, earning him a quick scolding from the rest of Team Spica for being so casual about it. Later, as night fell, Special and Silent Suzuka walked back to the dorms, where Fuji Kaisuke revealed that Special's new roommate was none other than Suzuka herself. In their room, Special started writing to her mom, but ended up sharing her excitement and hopes directly with her new roommate. The next morning, after dreaming about racing a bird as a kid, Special overslept and had to rush to class, where she struggled to keep up while others answered questions with ease. Soon after, the student council president, Simboli Rudolph, called her in for a chat and assigned Takai Teo to give her a campus tour. Inspired by Teo's admiration for the president, Special doubled down on preparing for her debut. Training included a game of Twister, because apparently flexibility wins races. As the big day neared, Suzuka was asked to look after Special, especially since she grew up without other horse girls around. On race day, Special tripped during introductions, but got a pep talk from Suzuka before running an intense race against Queen Berry, dodging dirt attacks like a pro and crossing the finish line first. That night, she joined the winners' concert, officially kicking off her racing career. Special Week's debut win made the papers, though they also poked fun at how she froze on stage during the concert. Trainer praised Team Spica's racing but roasted their stage skills, dragging them to karaoke for idol training with Teo as their overenthusiastic coach. On the walk back, Trainer declared Special should aim for the Triple Crown, no pressure. Feeling the weight, Special pushed through and won her next big race against Seiun Sky, celebrating with a victory feast where Teo announced she was joining the team. Training ramped up for the Satsukishu, but despite a fancy new uniform, Special placed third. Later, Suzuka found her shouting her frustration into a hollow tree, where Trainer joined in like some weird forest therapy session, telling her to turn that loss into fuel for the Japanese Derby. Special Week was still thinking about her last loss, but promised herself she'd win next time. A weigh-in revealed some extra kilos, and soon she was jogging by the river, dodging a barking poodle and refusing a carrot from its owner. At lunch, she caught up with friends, heard about El Condor's winning streak, and learned about upcoming races. During training in the park, she turned down takoyaki, citing her diet after the Satsukishu wardrobe mishap. Trainer reminded her that eating builds strength, but the team still pitched in to help her slim down. Trainer later arranged a mock race between Special and Takei Shuttle. Despite Suzuka's worries, Special raced hard, finishing just inches behind. The loss didn't crush her. Instead, she bonded with Taiki and was fired up when El Condor called her out on TV, determined to beat her next. Special week, El Condor and Seiun Sky did press interviews before diving into intense training. Special tackled a brutal staircase workout while trainer pushed her to hit a 40-second goal. Elsewhere, El Condor and Seiun kept up their own prep, and a cafeteria chat with Marzensky turned into a lesson about the role of luck in racing plus an awkward water spill incident. Team Spica tried recruiting Majiro McQueen, with Gold Ship's help mostly involving slapstick-level accidents. Later, Suzuka and Special raced the stairs, secretly beating the time record, though trainer played dumb about it. On Japanese Derby Day, teammates gave Special a lucky 4-leaf clover. The race turned into an anime-worthy showdown, with Special and El Condor crossing the finish together. Both called it the most fun they'd had yet, already hyped for a rematch. Special wrote to her mom about Suzuka's big win at the Takarazuka Kainen and Majiro McQueen officially joining Team Spica. To celebrate, they hit the beach before heading to the Fall Twinkle Series fan festival. Everyone explored separately. Special and Suzuka enjoyed the stalls, met Suzuka's fans, and watched an eating contest end in a donut-fueled scandal that could have been on a reality show. At sunset, they ate cake with Grass and El Condor, chatting about upcoming races and possible overseas adventures. Fireworks closed the night with a heartfelt moment between Special and Suzuka. Later, Grass trained hard despite her trainer's warnings. The Meinichi Aken arrived, with Suzuka leading from start to finish, El Condor stunned by her first loss, and Grass securing third, already eyeing her next big win. Special was still sulking over her last loss, stress-eating Yatsuhashi, when Suzuka dropped the bomb that she'd race in the Japan Cup before heading to America. Determined to join, Special begged trainer during a chaotic map quest trip to their training inn. Trainer agreed if Suzuka won her next race, which instantly turned into a who gets to race Suzuka frenzy among the team. Race day came, merch flying off shelves, but mid-run Suzuka got injured. El Condor won, but it felt hollow. Suzuka ended up in the hospital with a fracture, unsure if she could return to top speed. Special stayed by her side like a loyal anime best friend, insisting she'd recover. The rest of Team Spica showed up, turning the hospital room into their usual chaotic, heartwarming mess. Special was still reeling from her third-place Japan Cup finish, visiting Suzuka in the hospital every day like a dedicated sidekick in a sports anime. Suzuka slowly recovered, spending months in rehab with Special tagging along. By the time she could keep pace with the team again 9 months and 3 days later, as Special proudly noted, Suzuka was back in the mix, catching the eye of rivals like Air Groove and Murozensky. Meanwhile, Special trained hard for the Takarazuka Kainen, facing off against her generation's star, Grass Wonder. Grass took first, Special came in second, and the friendly rivalry heated up. Trainer, ever the sports movie coach, told Special to win everything in the fall. That night, Suzuka ditched her bandages and went for a stealthy moonlit jog, like the opening scene of a comeback montage. Special got a call from El Condor, who wanted her to tell Suzuka she looked forward to racing her again, a message that mildly poked Special's competitive side. Trainer, meanwhile, had a heart-to-heart with Suzuka, assuring her she wasn't holding anyone back. For summer training, Team Spica ended up in a sketchy motel next to Team Rigel's luxury spot, split into no friends allowed squads. After some awkward jogs, half-hearted practice, and a motivational scolding, they faced off in a triathlon for the ultimate prize, a dessert voucher. Chaos peaked when both teams wiped out on a steep hill and crashed into the water, ending in a tie. That night, they watched El Condor race in France and lose to Broy. The defeat pushed Special into late-night training, joined by Suzuka Q, the sports anime training montage. Special threw herself into training like it was a shonen anime arc, but her big race, the Kyoto Daishoten, ended in a rough 7th place finish. El Condor came back from France and accidentally roasted her flop before Grass Wonder dragged her away. Trainer tried to pep her up for the Tennoshu and Japan Cup, even suggesting she go home for a reset. Back home, her mom banned running, tied her to a post-family love is complicated, and later gifted her a handmade horseshoe engraved, "Be the best in Japan." Inspired, Special returned to school, trained with Team Spica, and promised Suzuka they'd race for real one day. On race day, Special channeled all her anime protagonist energy and absolutely crushed the Tennoshu, winning by a huge margin. Suzuka's big comeback race, the Open Special Cup, finally arrived, and she strolled down the tunnel like a movie star fixing her shoelace before the big scene. A few days earlier, the school went into chaos after French superstar Broy announced she was entering the Japan Cup to show everyone what strength is. Suzuka trained like Rocky in montage mode, while Special kept up her own routine. El Condor even offered Special a How to Beat Broy guidebook, but Special went full shonen hero and refused, wanting to win her own way. On race day, Trainer admitted he once lied about her medical odds, but Suzuka was unfazed. She hit the track, smoked the competition, and took first place. Broy, watching from the stands, decided she'd need to bring her a game for the Japan Cup where Special was already gearing up to face her. At a press conference, Broy announced she was here to outshine Suzuka's last win and take down rising star Special Week. Meanwhile, Special's mom accidentally got off at the wrong train stop but decided to run to the racetrack like it was her own marathon. Trainer drove Team Spica to the Japan Cup, while Special's mom overheard fans debating who'd win, some betting on Broy, others hoping for a miracle. She met Suzuka and Trainer, then quietly chose to watch from the stands instead of meeting Special before the race. On the track, Special stayed cool, even after Broy kissed her on the cheek like a European rival in a sports drama. They shook hands, the race kicked off, and in a nail-biter finish, Special won. Broy congratulated her but threw in a friendly warning. Special celebrated with a victory concert, joined by her beaming mom. Special wrote home to her mom about barely losing the Aramakainen to Grass Wonder, plus updates on how Team Spica was doing. Suzuka, fresh off an undefeated overseas run, landed at Narita and promised she'd win when they finally raced. For the Winter Dream Cup, all 18 racers gathered for a press event and lottery draw. Special pulled lucky number 13 again and declared she'd beat Suzuka. Race day was full of friendly rival banter, nervous energy, and way too much hugging from Gold Ship. Trainer's big strategy talk turned out to be just have fun, and the team cheered like it was a sports movie montage. The race ended in a massive tie, so everyone performed together on stage. Afterward, Trainer spotted a new talent, got kicked in the face for being weird, and still managed to ask if she had a dream.